In other news, the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality is expanding its separation at source program to enhance waste management by reducing landfill sites. A damning Auditor General report has exposed uncollected garbage, mismanaged landfill sites and informal settlements built on hazardous waste. Newzroom Afrika Sipha Kema joins us live now from Motherwell for more on this story. Sipha, good afternoon to you. Tell us more about this term, the separation at source program.
Now, Michelle, separation at source would be encouraging residents in the Nelson Mandela Bay to participate in recycling the goods. Now, to mention an incident that occurred last week, the story about the 13-year-old boy in Motherwell who went rummaging through the dustbins in Blue Water Bay with his father looking for food. Now, all the toxic chemicals and all the various waste was put into one bag. Now, if you remember that story that we ran with last week, where the boy then drank what was suspected to be a toxic chemical, causing, of course, his death. Now, such a thing, or rather educating the public about recycling and separating their waste, could prevent issues like that. And this was mentioned actually in a speech by the MMC of Environmental Affairs in the Nelson Mandela Bay, Tshonono Buyeye, just to tell us more. Because, Michelle, the most important thing when it comes to, of course, taking care of the environment and also being part of fighting against climate change is educating the masses and the people, because people are also responsible, of course, to ensure that they take care of the environment. So, you know, MMC, how is the municipality then going about educating people, more especially in the townships where we're seeing a lot of illegal dumping sites and, you know, the lack of information and the lack of, not being educated enough about climate change? This is where it comes into effect.
As a department, one of the sub-directorate within public health, which is environmental health, they've been leading with awareness campaigns throughout the metro, trying to bring the message across to people, to the residents, to be responsible around their own areas. As you will know, we had an unfortunate incident in the past few weeks where a young boy of 13 years old lost his life as a result of scratching from one of the refuse bags. And we were already on the ground doing the awareness, but that incident alone gave rise to what we have been saying as a department, to say we need to look after our own environment. And also, as part of why we are here today, we had already agreed on the program, which is the expansion of the separation at source program, which we had started in one of our wards in the western areas. And now we are expanding to what we would call township areas. So that is why we are here today, to make the call to the residents, to say all households, we are urging everyone to participate in this program of separation at source.
Now, besides the community and the people, the municipality also has its own responsibilities it plays when it comes to environmental issues, or rather protecting the environment. Now, AG report came out last week on the 5th of February and highlighting some of the issues like the landfills of the municipality, where you find informal settlements, some of them built on top of these landfills. I mean, you also mentioned that there's only 2 in the Nelson Mandela Bay and they're reaching capacity, but also the water treatment works, or the sewer treatment works as well, that have spilt over into the ocean.
The issue of the landfill site that is flagged in the AG's report talks to an old landfill that has been closed, where, because it was not properly closed in terms of the people had broken the fencing that was there, and they've built around that landfill. And it has caused now the AG to flag that. Of course, we also understand that People are not supposed to be building on landfill. We have been engaging with the community around the area to say, let's try and relocate them. And it's proving to be a very tough exercise, but we are still engaging. People don't want to move from where they are used to staying, but the dangers of building on a old landfill sites the effects are devastating. So it's something that we take note and will continue to engage with the communities. Issues of water and others, as the directorate, we are the ones responsible for testing the waters at our rivers as well as at our oceans. We do that for the safety of the residents, to make sure that when people go for either recreational issues or for fun, they use water that is clean. So there has been issues that have been picked up, hence you see the closures. And obviously our sister directorate is busy trying to rectify what we have found as a directorate. So that should be rectified in no time. But it's
and
not
the issues of licensing, because that was something that was also flagged, not having the licenses for the water treatment works.
Look, those are part of what our sister department is busy with. It's a responsibility for our engineering and infrastructure and engineering department. They are looking at that. The licensing issue that we said, it's been many years that we are operating without that. It's flagged in the metro, in the AG's report. Obviously, it's something that as a city we take note of, and we take it seriously once it is raised by the AG also.
All right, thank you so much. That's the MMC, of course, of Public Health, Environmental Affairs in the Nelson Mandela Bay, Tshonono Buyeye, telling us, of course, more about the program, but also some of the issues that were flagged by the Auditor General, Michelle, talking about the issues of the landfill sites where they have been habited by informal settlements, which could, of course, raise a concern over the health of those people, but also the environment itself, but also what we also mentioned about the water treatment works, where some of the sewage that comes from that treatment plant was actually spilt over into the ocean, causing the closure of New Brighton Beach over the December holidays because it was affected. Also not having licensing for those water treatment plants for years has been also a concern and also flagged in the Auditor General's report. Now, these are all works that affect the environment, Michelle.